going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we've been waiting to hear what Stephen A. Smith had to say about this Shannon Sharpe Skip Bayless thing. Now, as you all know, Skip was instrumental in Stephen A. Smith's rebuilding of his journalistic career at ESPN. You remember they let him go in 2009. He came back on First Take, and he's been soaring since then. And Skip helped put him in that position. You know what I'm saying? So, Skip's been very instrumental in a lot of guys. It just like, you know, he was a star when he brought Shannon in as far as journalism at that time, and Shannon soared past him. So you could say Skip recognizes talent. You know what I'm saying? If the guys you bring in soar past you, you had a good eye for them. And, you know, Skip may be hating now, but he ain't no hater where he prevents you from shining. Stephen A. Smith had a lot to say about it, and this is what he had to say.
Shannon Sharpe is leaving FS1. Do I have an idea of what happened? I'm Stephen A. You damn right I do. Do I know for certain? No, I do not. If I knew for certain, would I tell you? Hell no, without their permission. Because Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe could be at FS1, at least for the moment in the case of Shannon Sharpe. I've gotten to know Shannon Sharpe a little bit over the last few years. I genuinely like him and respect him. He is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He is a Hall of Famer. He is one of the greatest tight ends in the history of the National Football League. And I personally think he's done a hell of a job on television and with his podcast club, Shay Shay, which, by the way, I'm going to be a guest on in the near future. And he's also going to be a guest on here in the near future. But I sincerely hope, regardless of what opinions I'm about to give, that y'all don't make the mistake of assuming that I'm going to speak against my man Skip Bayless. That is not going to happen. Skip Bayless and I have disagreed on many things, on the air and off the air. We're natural-born contrarians with one another. We don't think alike. We don't act alike. We don't like the same things. We don't vibe with each other in terms of our ideas and our belief system. But you remember when I told you that I was the star of the #1 sports morning show for the last 11 and a half years? The first 4 years of that was with Skip Bayless. I'm never in that position if it were not for Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless asked me to come on First Take. Skip Bayless permitted me to come on First Take. Skip Bayless fought for me to come on First Take. Skip Bayless played a role in restoring my career that I felt had wrongly been taken from me. I will never disrespect him. It will not happen. Never. But that doesn't mean I can't disagree with him. This is not one of those times because I don't know what happened to tell you I agree or disagree. Here's what I can tell you. When news was announced that Shannon Sharpe had been bought out of FS1 and he would be leaving at the conclusion of the NBA Finals, there were two things that came to my mind. That's a big loss for the show Undisputed, because Shannon matters, and that I don't know what his plans are. I don't know what he's trying to pursue. I don't know what he's after. But if Shannon Sharpe needs me, I'm happy to be here for him. And if that included him wanting to come on First Take, the bosses at ESPN know that is something I would support.
Now, as you all hear, Stephen A. Smith is going to be on Club Shay Shay soon, and Shannon Sharpe's going to come on his podcast. You know, that's what I like about these guys getting in the YouTube space. You know, they're able to not have to worry about so many network restrictions, and they can speak to each other directly with their own platform. And I think it's a beautiful thing that these guys use. I don't want to say use the network, but they used the status they gained on the network to branch off into other things. And I'll be looking forward to that interview. Now, Stephen A. also said he would support Shannon Sharpe coming on ESPN First Take. And I'm thinking, during the football segments, like a Ryan Clark, like a Michael Irvin, when he was there. But, there's some things going on with Michael Irvin right now where the network hasn't brought him back since those allegations were brought up. At this point, though, Shannon's taught so much basketball, he would have to come in for those segments. Nobody knows what Shannon's next move is, but I did see that Stephen A. Smith is not going to speak against Skip Bayless, and with a good reason. Skip, you have to, I appreciate people that remember the journey, and Skip was so instrumental at a time where Stephen A. was at a crossroads. There's no way he could publicly go against him versus somebody else. They might butt heads behind the scenes and everything, but Skip was very helpful to him. And he said he had some idea what might have happened. That gives off, it reeks of, he had his own issues with Skip at different times during their partnership at First Take. But he said he wouldn't reveal that. He's got a good relationship with both of those guys, but Skip, being and another thing before I continue, him and Skip had that issue not long ago about something Stephen A. said in an interview, and they had a little back and forth, but you saw Stephen A. didn't lean all the way in on Skip, and they made up and everything, because those guys, they created something special. This space, it's easy to look at it now and say you get tired of the same topics, you tired of their theatrics, but these guys, they kind of created this space of debate, sports debate television. And no matter who you are, it might be watered down now, it might not be the same, but at one point you was getting up tuning in after a Cowboys game, after a LeBron game, to see what Skip and Stephen A. had to say about it the next day. So it was innovative, and it was important to everybody's culture that watched sports at one time. So we may not like it now, everybody may feel different about it now, but looking at the inception of these type of shows, these guys were instrumental and still are. We just may not watch it as much because it's a little bit repetitive, but you see other shows come on that you may like a little better, that are more analytical and say more things about the actual game. They took the format that was created by those two. So I just like to say that. Y'all think Shannon Sharpe's going to end up on ESPN a few days a week? Because I think he would do that in that capacity. He would go over there part-time and get some run over there with Stephen A. Smith and those guys. And it'd be good to have him on a panel like Shannon could flourish with Ryan Clark or somebody too. Like, I think ESPN, if they created a show, and maybe if it's around football, you could have him, Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark. You have those guys up there, you're going to get some good insight, man. And I think they could create a fresher debate football type show. I don't know. Or would you just like to see Shannon talking all topics? Let me know in the comments, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.